How's it going, everybody? Daner here with North Central Coins, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the most rare and valuable coins from the United States. Today we're going to be discussing a rare quarter error that can be worth hundreds if not thousands of dollars that you probably had no idea even existed. Because so many of the 1976 bicentennial quarters were made, it makes your chances of finding this rare error coin a lot better. In this video, we will explore the historical context surrounding the production of this rare gem and delve into why it holds such importance in American numismatic history. Additionally, we will discuss any distinguishing and identifying features, its significance among collectors, and also the potential value if you're ever to find or you own a legitimate example. Before I do get into this, I would really appreciate if you guys would smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also ring that bell notification so you can follow along with my new content as it is being released. And make sure to stay to the end of the video if you'd like to find out how much you could get for this coin if you do happen to stumble upon one or own one. And then without any further ado, what do you say we get right into it and discuss the 1976 Denver Mint Bicentennial DDO Quarter. Let's get it, guys. (1976) marked the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, a pivotal moment in American history. To commemorate this milestone, the United States Mint embarked on the creation of a special series of coins known as the United States Bicentennial Series. These coins, including the Washington quarter dollar, the Kennedy half dollar, and the Eisenhower dollar, featured new reverse designs that honored the nation's bicentennial celebration. Each of these specially designed coins bore the dual date of 1776 to 1976 on the obverse, symbolizing 2 centuries of American progress and resilience. The production of bicentennial quarter dollars occurred in the years 1975 and 1976, with coins minted in both the traditional copper-nickel clad composition and also a resurrected 40% silver clad alloy reminiscent of the silver content found in half dollars from 1965 to 1970, but these were only produced in silver for proof sets. Mint state and proof versions of all of these coins were produced with special 3-piece sets of the silver bicentennial coins made available to collectors at a premium. Notably, there are no quarters, half dollars, or dollar coins that were minted with a 1975 date, making the 1976 bicentennial quarter a distinctive numismatic piece. The journey towards the creation of these commemorative coins began with the establishment of the American Revolutionary Bicentennial Commission in the year 1966. They were tasked with the planning and coordinating of activities for bicentennial celebrations. Despite initial opposition from the United States Mint, legislation introduced in Congress in the early 1970s eventually led to the temporary redesign of the quarter, half dollar, and dollar for the bicentennial. A nationwide competition was held to select designs for the reverse of each of the coins, resulting in iconic images that captured the spirit of American history. Among these designs, the bicentennial quarter featured a colonial drummer, symbolizing the patriotic fervor of the American Revolution. Other notable designs included Independence Hall for the half dollar and the Liberty Bell against the moon for the dollar coin. While the copper-nickel clad quarters remain abundant in circulation, the limited mintage of the silver pieces adds an element of rarity and collectability to the series. The 1976 bicentennial quarters that were struck in silver will bear an S mint mark indicating that they were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Despite extremely high mintage figures and easy accessibility, bicentennial coins continue to hold a cherished place in American coinage history, serving as tangible reminders of the nation's journey towards liberty and unity. The 1976 Denver Mint DDO Bicentennial Quarter, or double die obverse, is a notable error primarily found on the Denver Mint 1976 Bicentennial Quarter. The first thing you need to do is check that it was struck at the Denver Mint, which can be distinguished by a small D mint mark to the right of Washington's bust on the obverse side. To identify the DDO error, attention should be directed to the wording Liberty above Washington's bust and also on the wording for "In God We Trust." Upon close examination, doubling may be observed, rendering the letters with a somewhat three-dimensional appearance and subtle shading. However, it's crucial to note that this doubling typically results from machine doubling or die deterioration rather than a true double die. Identifying this air coin involves careful scrutinization of the lettering for signs of doubling, where the characters appear thicker or slightly shifted from their original position. Unlike genuine double-dyed airs, which occur during the hubbing process and can result in distinct, crisp doubling of the design elements, machine doubling or die deterioration tends to produce less pronounced doubling and lacks the sharpness characteristic of true double dies. Several factors could have contributed to the occurrence of machine doubling or die deterioration on these 1976 coins. Machine doubling often arises when the coin is struck and the dies shift slightly during the minting process, causing the design to be partially re-impressed onto the coin's surface. On the other hand, die deterioration occurs over time as the dies wear down from repeated striking, leading to a degradation in the quality and sharpness of the design elements. And usually when coins have an extremely high mintage figure, they made almost 1 billion of the 1976 Denver minted quarters, there will usually be at least a few minor errors and varieties that you can look for that date. And in the case of the 1976 Bicentennial Quarters, they made just under 1 billion that year for the Denver Mint. So when they are producing a certain date with such a high mintage figure, especially when it is a new design or temporary design, the chances for errors or anomalies in the minting process is definitely increased. While the 1976 Denver Mint DDO Quarter may not command the same level of value or attention as genuine double die airs, it remains a fascinating piece for collectors and enthusiasts interested in air coins. Its distinct characteristics and also the story behind its creation add to its allure, making it a noteworthy addition to any numismatic collection. Now, some of the details and specifications for the 1976 Denver Mint Bicentennial Quarter. It was designed by John Flanagan. The edge is reeded. It has a diameter of 24.30 millimeters. It has an overall mintage of 860,118,839, which is actually a higher mintage figure than the Philadelphia Mint, which is probably why you can find a few of these air coins on the Denver Mints. It was minted at the Denver Mint facility, meaning it will have a D mint mark on the obverse. The composition of the coin is 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper center, but as I mentioned, some of the pieces that were struck for the proof sets were actually struck in 40% composition. Now, when it comes to the value for the 1976 Denver Mint DDO Quarter, usually if you find one of these and it's pretty beat up and not in the greatest shape, you won't get too much above face value for it. But if you can find one of these in an uncirculated roll, or you find one that's in really good shape, if you can identify significant doubling on the wording for Liberty, just above Washington's bust, and also on the wording for "In God We Trust," on the obverse of the coin, you can definitely add a pretty big premium to the coin. Now, in terms of the value for this piece, it pretty much comes down to how significant the doubling is and the condition of the piece. I was able to find an auction record from 2019 on eBay where a high-grade example of this coin sold for around $450. Unfortunately, it does not list the grade, but I'm guessing it's probably somewhere around an MS 67. But if you were to find one and it scored any higher than that, a 68 or 69, or maybe, just maybe, you got that legendary 70 mark, which doesn't happen too often for the older coins, then you could easily be talking a $1,000 coin. A lot of people are fans of the Bicentennial coin series, and if you were to have one in a very high grade and with a significant error, like very pronounced machine doubling on the coin, there could be some collectors that could definitely want to pay a pretty high premium to acquire it for their collection. In terms of the low end value, if you can identify severe machine doubling on the obverse, then chances are you can probably get a couple dollars for this coin, depending on how severe it is, how badly somebody wants it, and pretty much you can get them to pay for it. Now, what do you guys think about the 1976 Bicentennial DDO Denver Mint Quarter? What would you do if you ever found one, or if you ever have found any of the coins that I discussed in this video? Please let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. Also, I would really appreciate if you guys would smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also ring that bell notification so you can follow along with my new content. But I think that is pretty much going to do it for this one, folks. So until the next one, everybody, peace out and have a good one, y'all.